Well, good morning. I'm going to give a little demonstration or a little class on proper jazz drumming. Some of this information is invaluable to the jazz drummer and the wannabe jazz drummers. The most important thing, this is the most important thing, the concept of dressing right for a gig or even practice. The most important thing for a jazz drummer is the hat. This would be my gigging hat. This would be the one I would wear out to a gig. I practice with this one. It's very important. It doesn't matter the clothes that you wear when you practice, but you must have the hat. Now, you're probably wondering, well, who am I to be, telling you? You've never heard of me. I don't have any recordings out. Well, another thing about a great jazz drummer like myself is that I don't want to really play with anybody else because they just don't do things the way I want them to, and all these, these Berklee guys that graduate and from there and all these guys that are really good players, they just don't have the feel that I do, and they just don't do the things I want to do. So back again, it just goes to the hat. The hat's the number one thing. The number two thing, the most important on your drum kit, is let me pan down and I will show you. The second most important thing about jazz drumming is from the audience perspective. Now you have your hat on and your black or white clothes. All your badges of your drums must be facing forward so the audience can see them. That's the second most important thing. The third most important thing for a jazz drummer is that all your logos on your heads be facing forward, or at least in a line perpendicular to your cymbals. Those three things there, the hat, the badges, and your head logos, if you just do those three things, you'll probably be making six figures within a week, regardless of if you can really play or not, So I was compelled to tell you that. And you could take what I'm saying and you could actually go into blues and rock drumming to a certain extent. I wouldn't want to be in a metal band with a hat like this, but hey, it could be done, and you'd probably be a much better drummer for it. But irregardless, the badges must face forward. The head logos must be perpendicular to your cymbals. So I suppose if you had your cymbals perpendicular that way, that you still got to have your head logos going facing the audience. That's just period. And a lot of times you must drink a lot of coffee too when you practice at home. So needless to say, hold on, let me bring us back here. Needless to say, just the fourth thing is when you're a jazz drummer, the fourth most important thing is large cymbals. The bigger the cymbals, the cooler. Okay, we don't really care what they sound like as long as they're big, and they have to. You could have that taw, that taw, or the ping. But as long as they're big enough to crash, you have to be able to crash your big, huge cymbals. And that's probably the five most important things for a jazz drummer. Everybody talks about how important time is and playing past the bar line for these hot shots, you know, like Elvin Jones and guys like that that thought they were cool, you know, inventing all this weird polyrhythm crap. But I've seen pictures of Elvin Jones where his logos weren't facing forward, and I can tell without the hat that he wasn't as good as he thought he was. Okay, so he was great, big deal. But it just bugs me, man. So anyway, those are some great tips that can help you out. And when you make it big, I want you to, you know, just say that, hey, the old Dardrum knew what he was talking about. That's all I ask. Thank you very much for listening. And this was a complete joke.